Yep, people, welcome back to another show. We've had the preseason, we've had the rest, we've recharged, and now it's time to get down and dusted because it is the return of Deji Spurs and newly branded, of course, Aston Villa from the stands. Josh and Deji here with you all. Big up to everyone. If you are watching on replay as well, make sure to smash a like and subscribe to both channels and get in the comments and let us know if you agree with our predictions because Deji and I'm going to tell you now, when it comes to football and it comes to our and his famous line, clubs, but I'm not going to butcher that line. Yeah, you're going to see two different opinions, and we're going to be giving it our chest and heart and passion about this. But Dej, pre-season, are you happy it's done, dusted, finished? Or are you a pre-season geek? Are you someone who sits there in their underwear, as you say to people, watching, highlighting, getting the notepad out, analysing? What's your take on it?
What you mean Spurs pre-season so far?
Yeah,
it's been okay. I mean, first and foremost, I'm just delighted that reality is coming back because I don't know about you, man, but pre-season for me is usually very dusty. The Euros was crap, so it's good to get back to reality. Look, my club is shaping up pretty well, mate. Postecoglou announced today that we've got a fully fit squad. And I've already warned you before last season, towards the end, that when Tottenham's fully fit team can go against anyone, it's really... I mean, I think we take everyone out when we have our full team in play, and I'm delighted that Arsenal's early on. But we've looked okay, man. Bergvall, what a player. I think he starts ahead of Madders. What a player. He is a Jude Bellingham, that kind of ilk.
Oh, man.
He's of high pedigree. Archie Gray, take a bow, son. Take a bow. He's already displaced Bissouma in my eyes. And then we've done what you got. We've brought in our Ollie Watkins. I like to see you shake your bum for Ollie Watkins over Solanke, because for me, it's much of a muchness in my opinion. It could have been Solanke instead of Watkins going to the Euros if Southgate had woken up on the left-hand side of his bed. So for me, I just feel like everything is looking pretty nice for my club. We're probably going to bring in a midfielder as well before the end of the transfer window, maybe a winger. I think it's really, really dangerous times for the rest of the league, and I'm fully excited, mate. Yeah.
There it is. He's dropped it. Deji has already put Spurs on that pedestal, and that's where I want him to put his club. I want him to have him on the pedestal. As you said, you've got me quaking with the names of Archie Gray and Gvardiol 2.0. I thought he played for Man City, whoever you're talking about. But listen, it's 2.0, man, the Man City player or whatever it is. But first of all, before we get into the layout of the show, we've got to shout out everyone who's coming into the stream. We've got Ghost in here. Big up to VJ. Destiny 5 to Spurs Diehard. Big up to Tots Omega, Brain, P White UK, PC Collins, The Assemble, Pharmacy, KSX6, British Mick. Loads of you coming in here. Little Tim's, June, Brain, UTFV, and Marco. Look, we love all the support, so make sure you are smashing the like on both channels. This is how it's going to work tonight. Yep. Deji and I are going to lock down our top 7. Yeah. To be honest, we don't want to talk about Deji who finishes 13th, 14th, 15th. We're not interested, are we? We don't care about those mediocre teams in life. We don't even need to talk about relegation, really, do we? Because let's be honest, it's pretty obvious, I think, who's going down. I don't want to be that guy, but the promoted teams who sort of came up again, it's looking a bit messy for them. So we're not going to sweat over it too much. We're also going to talk about who we think top goal scorer is going to be and any other crazy predictions that we feel might happen this season. So, look, it's going to be interesting. I know for a fact that Deji and I's top 7s are going to be completely different. I haven't even known it, and Deji doesn't know mine. That's the beauty of it.
Before we do that, can I just answer the elephant in the room? Because Peter Collins has rightly called me out. Peter Collins has said, "Where is my Arsenal shirt?" Peter, I can tell you that next week I am actually going to the bloody Arsenal Stadium to go and buy my shirt. I'm going to have it recorded. Josh was going to come with me, but just in case, Northside has agreed to come with me to make sure that I honor that bet. So expect us to do a comeback or a show next week, towards the end of the week, where I will be giving you a video of me in the shirt and what happened to the shirt afterwards.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he's a man, he's an honourable man, and that's what we love about our Deji. So, Dej, I think we should start obviously with our top 7. We should start from our 7th place and we'll build it up to number 1. As I said to the viewers, the beauty of it is I don't know Deji's, Deji doesn't know mine, but I can guarantee that he's going to be shaking his bum violently for different teams compared to me, and I know that's true. So, Dej.
Yeah.
Would you like me to go first? Or would you like to take the
yeah,
honors?
you go
okay.
first. Yeah.
So, chat, please come along with us. Join us in your top 7, and we'll start with 7th. Don't give us all your 7 to 1 in straight away. There's no point in that. There's no point in that. Let's build the excitement. So, let me know who you think is going to finish 7th in the chat, and I'm going to give our reasons why. But yeah, big up to the man, Deji. Big up to everyone in the chat. Let's go. So, in 7th place for me, Deji, is a London side.
Yeah.
It's a London side that I think all of a sudden their fan base is starting to become one of the most annoying fan bases out there. I know I've got a bit of a rivalry of Spurs going on with you, but this fan base in particular, chat too much. They don't realise how unbalanced their squad is. They don't realise how it's not going to work. And they have a manager who, for me, almost blew one of the most impossible leads in the Championship. It was almost the unthinkable, the lead that they had.
Yeah.
And for me, this side is a team that on paper people are hyping up because they've got a bit of magic dust here and there, and they'll probably annoyingly get João Felix.
Yeah.
But I ain't having it. I think this Chelsea side is still miles back. Yeah. And it's a team for me that won't click, defensively weak. And I am telling you now, Chelsea are finishing 7th this season. They're not getting anywhere near that top 4. And I don't want to hear Chelsea fans say, but last season, if we had 5 or 6 more games, we would have overtaken Villa or Spurs. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Enzo Ball is going to stink the place out. Chelsea's team isn't going to gel. And can Cole Palmer really do back-to-back seasons? Because he carried that team. And it's a difficult and awkward conversation. And Dej, you can already hear the voice of Don and Chess just coming at us with dribble. And it hurts. And that is why they are adding that salt to the wound. Chelsea, for me, dusty. They're 7th for me. Dej, what are you saying?
I think, Josh, that you've been too kind.
Too kind?
You've been too kind to Chelsea. For me, they're one of the justest team I've ever seen in my life. And like you rightly said, everything you said is true. You know, Maresca is a dusty manager. They've brought players. There's no sense to the players that they've brought in. A little bit like you guys, to be fair. But I think, although I don't understand what the players you brought in, the players you did do a good job in getting you guys top 4. So for me, Chelsea are not even in my top 7, bro. So you've gone one better than me. Chelsea don't even make my top 7. I can't say a team is dusty and then give them a ranking. That would make no sense. I wouldn't be true to word. So as true to form and true to word, Chelsea don't score in my ranking. My 7th place team is the second dustiest team I've ever seen in my life. What saved them last season was the fact that this brother won the FA Cup. Wow. And after taking 14 L's, the most L's that Man United have ever received in their life, all he could say at the end of the FA Cup that Man City did not give a damn about, I hasten to add, is that's what I do. I win trophies. Is this guy dry and dusty? So for me, Man United is to get 7th. Man United cannot progress as a football club until they get this brother out. So for me, 7th, and Chelsea don't even make my top 7.
Wow. The opening statement. Chat, I want to know who your 7th place is. And is anyone like Deji right here, right now, who has Chelsea finishing outside the top 7? I want to know. It's a big claim. I like that he's a man of his word. If he's going to call a club dusty, then they do not deserve to get in his top 7. But he's gone for the second dustiest, cobwebbiest team that is. So I want to hear yours, and I'll read them out. We've got Alan Ford has gone Newcastle in 7th. I like it, Alan. I like it. We've got someone else who put some more predictions in here. I'm trying to get it. I agree with Deji. Good call, says Les and Jamie. Destiny's got Chelsea at 8th. Wow, there's some people really feeling this, which is there. Marcus is a Chelsea fan, isn't he?
You must
Villa,
be.
he says Spurs and Villa fans talk about Chelsea Man United in this manner is unacceptable. Listen, Marcus, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, but I'm going to have to. Aston Villa finished 2 seasons in a row above Chelsea, my friend, and it's about to be the third. And you're going to have to start realizing this isn't Jose Mourinho Chelsea anymore or Roman Abramovich era Chelsea. It is a different era. I can only talk on facts, my friend. And Chelsea have finished 2 seasons below Villa. And that's an awkward conversation. He's a United. Yeah. Well, even them.
They're dusty, bro. It's not even well. They are dusty. I mean, they've brought in what they've done. Is you might as well, Marcus, and I think you would agree with me here, move Old Trafford to Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, because what you've done is you've brought in all these players that have been either played for Ajax, play for Ajax, or gonna play for Ajax. And I'm not being funny, but if you can't look past Ajax as your barometer in terms of scope for talent round the world, then I have to say you're as dusty as Chelsea FC. So for me, Man United is so dusty, and I think all of those problems, all of those players, including De Ligt or AKA, just give me the light, just give me the light. Oh yeah, they're all gonna suffer, mate. I'm not gonna lie to you, mate. They're all gonna suffer in the league, the best league in world football. So Man United will do well to finish 7th this season.
There it is. Okay, Dej, I start on the last one. I want you to take away your 6th place team then. Let's go to 6th.
Yeah, so have you got my 6th one is going to be a surprise. And I don't know why it's going to be a surprise. You know that when you lose a talisman, someone who has been at the club for 8 years, the club, the city, they've got the keys to the city, they've literally transformed the club. When you lose someone of that stature, you're going to have to take an L because it's hard to fill big shoes. And so for me, my 6th place team is going to be Liverpool. Liverpool, because Arne Slot looks pretty dustier than Tutankhamun. It doesn't look good for Liverpool because, you know, one of the first things a manager wants to do is a manager wants to give us their imprint. They want to lay their marker down. What marker has Arne Slot laid down? None. The Zubimendi deal that he wanted to bring in, the brother looked at him and said, you know what? Nah, mate, I'm going to turn my back on Liverpool, one of the best teams in world football, and I'm going to stay put. He's going to stay put because he doesn't trust what he sees. And I don't disagree with him. Van Dijk has already come out to say we need signings. And for me, even though people are arguing that the Liverpool squad is good, yes, but that squad is Klopp's squad. You need 1 or 2 players of the new manager for him to feel comfortable, for him to usher in the new regime, and he's not done it. And I'm not convinced that he's got the respect of the players and is going to be able to manage to bring Liverpool where they should be. So for me, Liverpool fall out of the top 4. They'll get Europa League, which is not bad in his first season. Remember, it's Klopp. You know, it's big shoes to fill. 2 seasons ago, Klopp finished 5th. But Liverpool fall out of the top 4 for me. So Liverpool in 6th.
Wow. That shocked me, you know. That shocked me. I hear the rationale and I hear the reason. But I also feel that actually coming in with the tools at disposal with a new they for me, it's like having really good quality kitchen knives that haven't been sharpened. But they're really expensive and really good. And all they need is someone just to come in and give them a little sharpen, a little refresh, a little refurb, and they're back chopping again. And that's where I feel that's where I am with Liverpool. And I'll come to that a bit more with my prediction because they're certainly not in my 6th spot. But I hear Dej. But my 6th spot is, of course, none other than another London side. A London side that...
Hell, if you put my club 6th, I swear,
there's a lot of London teams.
The beef we're going to have on this show is going to go left very quickly. I swear to you.
There is a lot of London teams, Dej, to choose from. And I know there's a lot of people on the West Ham train. West Ham do not get in my top 7.
Yeah.
There's another London club, a very small London club that I think could surprise everyone this season. but they're not in my top 7. 6th place is, of course, Spurs. There's no shadow of doubt in my mind.
That is disgusting.
Spurs are
Shame.
going back.
Boo! Boo!
Spurs.
This conversation's gone left so quick. We're only 15 minutes in, and you've destroyed this whole streak. But go on.
Dej. Hear me out with Spurs. Your squad is not as good as you think you are. Your manager, and I don't want to give too much away, but your manager, his head's elsewhere. Next point. Dominic Solanke covers up only a few holes in your side. But what, for me, is the biggest issue is that your midfield is actually woeful. Your midfield is woeful. And not only is it woeful...
Are you smoking Budgie Banton? My midfield is better than your midfield, mate. Legitimately.
Dej.
Josh, you've become a madman since you've been doing these little multi-streams. I swear to you, mate. You're better off doing watch-alongs because this is disgraceful.
I can only call what I see.
Go.
And what I see with Spurs right now is a midfield that, for me, is nowhere near top 4 quality.
Are you drunk?
I see one Mickey van der Ven injury from disaster class in your defence. You're telling me, and I loved how you set yourself up here. I was hearing Archie Gray, and I'm hearing Gavardio 2.0. I'm hearing Gavardio 2.0 and Archie Gray, and you're getting. Oh, I'm so scared. You've got James Maddison who's going to rock the ship. I think he's going to be a bad egg. Where the hell is Kulo going to play? How are you fitting these brothers in the team? Are you going to be able to manage Richardson's drops? Are you going to be able to manage that? I just think that Spurs, for me, there was cracks, and those cracks showed at the end of last season. And the best bit is that Ange showed his true colours. He showed his true colours with that Manchester City game. And I'm telling you now, we saw what Ange feels and how Ange will perform at Tottenham. And listen,
I mean, I will give my reply to that when I
you can
where Tottenham are in the league, but
you can.
The only thing I can say is that you've been smoking Budgie Banton, and I kind of agree with Captain Hindsight. He says both of you need your heads cracking together sometimes. Laugh at that. I swear you guys say things to get a rise out of each other. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about Josh, to be honest. I think he doesn't mean what he's saying. And his top 7 is for entertainment purposes.
No. Listen, we all know that when you come on YouTube and say something, it gets clipped up and it can haunt you forever. You know, such as like Peter Beardsley played for Aston Villa that time. You know what I mean, Dej? You know what I mean? Yeah? If you know, you know, right? If you know, you know. So, listen, I genuinely believe that the cracks of Spurs were there to see last season. And I'm seeing it, and I do believe those cracks. But I love everyone in the chat. Opinions are opinions. Yes, I love Deji and I love coming to each other's clubs. But if you've got an opinion, I want to hear who's your 6th place team. I've actually given my reasons. I've tried to actually not just say it to wind Deji. My reasons are the midfield for me isn't strong enough. It's nowhere near good enough. I think your defence is one key player injury away from an absolute meltdown. And I believe Van der Ven. I'll give you this one, Deji. I used to banter you about Van der Ven. Van der Ven, for me now, is just one of the best. He is one of the best. And I know it, right? So I'm happy to admit that. But if he goes, and someone that is as athletic and as pacey as he is, I'm sure that brother's got a hamstring injury away from snapping. I do, right? But I just don't know how your forward dynamic works this season, and that's all. But that's
I'll give mine when I lay where Tottenham is, because obviously they're not going to be so low in my opinion, but that's fine. I'll take that.
Absolutely. But just quick shout out to, we got loads more people joining the chat who haven't seen. Big up to, of course, we've got Freddie SP, Hindsight's joined us, British Mick in the house, loving what's going on in here. Big up to Richard Edwards, Farmitude, and loads of others who are coming in here. We really do. Spice Press as well. They love the Deji. The Villa fans love the Deji deep down.
Villa fans. Villa fans are actually going to be pleasantly surprised with where I place you, because you're not 7th or 6th in my opinion, like Josh. But go on.
Wow. I love it. I love it. So, look, we've both done our sixth. Please let us know if I've missed who your sixth is, because I'm intrigued. Did anyone else have Spurs in sixth? Did anyone else have Spurs in sixth? I would like to know.
I don't want to know if they have, to be honest with you. So you don't have to type in. Don't type it.
Okay, right. I think I'm next step, aren't I, with fifth?
Yeah.
So let's go into fifth. We're on 17. I'm surprised. Yeah, Villa are used to having being predicted about 17, 16, but those were the days. Okay, fifth then. You've already mentioned this club, and I think this club are still hindered by their manager. I still think they always find a way, no matter what, every season, Manchester United play crap. And they have done for the last 2-3 seasons. They've been a terrible watch. But the thing that absolutely baffles me is always Deji somehow in a conversation still near the end of the season of maybe getting a top 4 finish or maybe getting this or maybe getting that. And I don't understand it. But for me, Erik ten Hag is the anchor that drags Manchester United down. A lot of people keep telling me the reason why Ruud van Nistelrooy is at the club, because if Ten Hag goes, Van Nistelrooy comes into the club and be manager. Who knows? But I just think there is something about Man United that always find a way to claw their way through a campaign, through a season, and someone finds a bit of form. Garnacho last year, for example, carried on a little bit. You know, out of the blue, McTominay was scoring worldies, saving Manchester. You know, it's interesting. But I've got Man United fifth. I think they miss out a top 4 again, which is a terrible back-to-back campaign. And surely Ten Hag has to go next year. But that's who I've got fifth. And some people in the chat have got Liverpool fifth. We've got Chelsea fifth, West Ham fifth, Newcastle fifth. Someone's got United eighth. I'm interested. I don't know who Dej is going to go fifth. We've got Spurs fifth from Les and Jamie. PTC went fifth. Dej, hit me with yours. Well, I think you're on mute. You're on mute, brother.
So I think you've been pretty generous to the 2 dustiest teams we saw last season. I thought Man United was dusty, and I thought Chelsea was dusty last season. And the third dusty team was West Ham. I've been consistent with that. Those were 3 of the dustiest teams I've ever seen in my life. For me, I've gone with Newcastle fifth, simply because they're playing 1 game a week. When they got the Champions League that season where they finished 4th, Eddie Howe had them sourcing. Everyone's back. Joe Linton, Guimaraes, Tonali's back. Isak's back. Newcastle's first 11 is as good as anyone's in the Prem, to be honest. And for me, with 1 game a week, with no injuries, what killed Newcastle wasn't because Eddie Howe is a bad manager. Isn't because they fell out of form. It was because they had some of the baddest, I think they had the worst injuries in the whole of the Prem. Injuries aside, Newcastle's team can beat anyone. So for me, I see Newcastle as finishing 5th. I just think that their injury record ain't great. Once they lose a couple of players to injury again, which will always happen, I just don't think they've got enough on the bench, really, to bring it home. So for me, Newcastle just miss out on the top 4. But I rate Newcastle, and I rate Newcastle more than I rate Man U and I rate Chelsea. In fact, I am more concerned about playing Newcastle. I have no concerns when we play Man United. I expect to slap them up, and I expect to slap up Chelsea. So for that reason alone, I will go Newcastle 5th.
It's really interesting because I really toyed with Newcastle, and it's interesting to read the chat as we're doing this because some of them actually agreeing with your points about their first 11. I can see Richard saying that, and about the fact that there is some good depth there in terms of what Newcastle do. And I looked at Newcastle, and again, because we are doing some crazy predictions at the end, if you think our top 7's crazy enough as it is, then we're actually going to give you some crazy predictions of what we think may happen this season. But there's something just doesn't sit right with me at Newcastle, and I can't put my finger on it.
They want Eddie Howe out.
There's that. There's some toxicity, I think, behind the scenes. Amanda Stavley going was a very I don't want to butcher the other guy's name, Mehmed Guendouzi or something like that. All that sort of change and all that. I'm just not sure. I'm really not sure, Dej. And it's fascinating because your point about Newcastle does ring true. No European football. If they can get their best 11 out on the pitch, they're great. Are they going to keep their best 11 though? Is Isak still going to be a Newcastle United player come the transfer deadline? I think he will. There's as well.
They're the richest team in the world.
Yeah. And that's the thing, though. But they haven't been able to do it. And I just think, right? I just think their transfers have gone on Mark Gay, the Crystal Palace centre half. Is that really what they feel like they need to strengthen at the back there? It's an interesting one of where they're going to put a lot of their budget and money on him.
Injuries aside, their back line in that season, they got Champions League football. Their back line was good. You know, Mark Gay is a fantastic player, but you know, defensively they were woeful because of the injuries. I've seen someone say, you know, Newcastle with injuries, they're wank. They were still, you know, in the top half of the table with a decimated squad. Just if half those players had been available, Newcastle could have easily finished 5th, in my opinion. So, you know, I think Newcastle are a lot stronger than people give them credit for, to be honest. And the way Eddie Howe has them sourcing, you know, Joe Linton is an absolute gladiator in that middle department. He's a beast. So yeah, he has some sourcing. Tonali, you've got Gordon, you've got Harvey Barnes. Mate, there's players there, mate. There's players.
It could click, and that's the thing. So very interesting. So again, personally, right now, Newcastle haven't made my top 7, but they've made other people's. They've made Deji's, and that's fascinating for me. So I like it. I absolutely love it. By the way, we've got some people in there who are saying this. Hit the like button, share, and subscribe. It's free. And Vamos VJ is saying it as well. We'll give guys a like. We do appreciate it. We actually appreciate all your comments. You know, we as streamers, we try and acknowledge the comments as much as possible because I think Deji's very much the same as I. When you do these talk shows and you talk with someone on screen with you, it is hard to always come back to the comments because it's not as natural. But we love the comments and we do.
They got British Mike as well. Yeah,
absolutely. They're on there. So yeah, big up the villains in the house. Big up the hot take. Big up the villains, but big up the Spurs fans, I guess. Well, no, I do not. I guess I do big up the Spurs fans. I'm sorry that you haven't made past 6th in my predictions. But
you're a disgrace to us. I ain't gonna lie on that prediction.
But there we go. So listen, that was my
it's me, it's my turn now.
It's the top 4 now, people.
Yeah.
The UCL, because that's the competition we're playing in. So I'm really excited for that. Dej, of course, top 4, something you probably guys need to be aiming for. So I'm wondering who you've got 4th.
So Villa fans, you know, for me, I've got Villa at 4th, and I'll explain why. I think Unai Emery has done an absolutely incredible job with Aston Villa in terms of getting you Champions League football, but we could see the improvements from the season before. I won't lie, Aston Villa have all the tools to even go 3rd, but I can't lie to you, the signings that Villa have done this summer are some of the dustiest signings I've ever seen in my life. I don't think one of those signings starts with Villa. That is the maddest thing. You've not brought in a player to come and replace someone in your starting 11. I mean, people shake their bum violently for Onana. What's his name? Onana. What's his name? What's his name? But I asked you the other day, Josh, does Onana start ahead of McGinn? And you had to sit back and say, he doesn't start ahead of McGinn. So for me, if Onana's not starting ahead of McGinn, what the hell did you bring him in for, you dusty clown? Oh my days. So for me, and let's also be real, Unai Emery, as much as you guys love him, we all know he can't multitask. You can't speak to Unai Emery while he's tying his shoelace. It just doesn't happen. He discombobulates. You know what I mean? He discombobulates. So because of that, you can't mount a European challenge and a challenge at the same time. So I think he's going to probably try and push the Champions League over the
Wow.
That's what I think.
Wow. Well, listen, I've never seen so much craziness in my life. The fact you put us in 4th place is absolutely unbelievable, and I love that. But at the same time,
I don't love it. It's just I'm just someone who can see with my eyes. I don't want you to love it. I don't want you to love it.
I absolutely love it.
I'm just respecting what you've done.
No, but what I love is you've actually thrown a load of insults about Villa while putting us 4th. So that I absolutely love. Right, can we just fact check something here? Because Deji and I were on Never a Fan. We were going at it, right? And he tried to tell me, first of all, that Onana doesn't start in a Spurs team. I think he was going along those lines, telling me that. Absolutely load of waffle. Everyone in the chat right now, tell me, does Onana start in the Spurs team? Yes or no? We all know it's going to be a yes, right? So Onana starts there. Second of all, you were laughing your socks off when I told you that McGinn's position was up behind Ollie Watkins as a shadow striker. That really tickled your ribs, didn't it, Dej? That I told you that John McGinn plays close behind the striker and basically he flourishes in that role. And that's what he's done. So I've told you, Onana's in that double pivot at the moment of Youri Tielemans, right? Both of who walk into the Spurs' midfield, by the way. Onana and Tielemans both start. And look at you all saying yes in the chat. The chat knows, right? The chat knows. The chat doesn't lie to us, Dej. Right? The chat doesn't lie. But listen, we got Paul. Paul said no, which is
well done, Paul. Well done, Paul.
Destiny said Onana's not better than Benta who?
Come on, he's not better than Bentancur and Bissouma. Destiny is right. You're just chatting. Onana doesn't even have a first touch. He can barely control the ball. The only reason why you brought him in is because he's a barbarian.
I think he might be British. I think he might be. I think he might be playing. He's used him on FIFA accidentally in the wrong position, and it's all gone wrong. But listen, let's be real, right? Let's be real, okay? You put Villa in fourth. I do massively respect it, and what you've said on the transfers, I sort of agree with. But Dej, just let the chat know your thoughts on John McGinn. You know, because this was said that when I told you about where John McGinn plays in that Villa team. How does that make you feel?
I'm not being funny. If you play John McGinn behind the striker or you play him as a false nine, then you can't take any team that does that seriously with that player. I mean, come on. I mean, what are we doing here? Is this kindergarten cup? This McGinn is supposed to be playing in the double pivot and he can't go forward. And what you're doing, he's there as a midfield destroyer. He's not no Maddison. He's not your Odegaard. Come on. And so the fact that you're relying on McGinn to be your playmaker, to be the person that feeds Ollie Watkins, is borderline madness. That is one of the dust. I'd rather have Harry Winks play behind the striker than have McGinn. So for me, that's why I don't think Villa can finish above fourth. In fact, the more you talk about it, the more I want to swap them with Newcastle, to be honest. So if I were you, I'd stop where you are.
All right. Well, I respect it. I won't do too much talking, but let's go to that. But all right, my fourth position then. And I've matched you and put Aston Villa in fourth. So just to confirm in my predictions, Aston Villa finished 2 places above Spurs. Aston Villa go on and have 3 seasons where they finish higher than Chelsea, 2 seasons where they finish higher than Manchester United and Spurs. And Unai Emery does something that will give him the most respect that any other neutral pundit, person, spectator will, that he goes and gets back-to-back top 4, which is what I've heard a few people tell me and say. Unai needs to go and get back-to-back top 4, and he goes and he's respected. That is very important, and I think he's going to do that. On the transfer window, I sort of agree with you, Dej, that apart from Onana and Maatsen, who I think will eventually come in, the rest of the guys that we've signed haven't been exactly scintillating. I do hope Villa.
Can you be honest and just say they're a bit dusty?
Then they're not really, because they're going to be bolstering our squad and improving not our squad, even our first 11. The only thing I'm worried about, and I hope Villa have got a nice little surprise package on deadline day, is that we get a striker in, just someone who's going to back up the striking department, who's going to be a forward attacking player. If we can do that, then happy days. But the only thing I'm going to say is this. The squad depth has improved massively for us. So you talk about that, we signed players there. The thing that Villa had last season, what people forget, is we had people like Kane Kessler-Hayden. We had people like Caden Young, John Duran, Zaniolo. They were all our bench players. Every time I looked at the bench and Unai looked at the bench, he was like, what am I meant to do? How am I meant to change the game? How am I meant to change the game with the guys they have on the bench? This season, he's going to look to the bench, go, I've got Emi Buendia, Enzo Berentia, Philogene, Jaden Philogene. Oh, is that Who's that?
Did you say Jaden Billie Jean, or did you say Billie Jean? It's not my lover.
Well, he won't be your lover when he scores against you. Yeah, I can tell you that for free, right?
Oh,
so beware of him. Look, we've got people who are now going to be bolstering our squad, and that squad depth was what we were missing last season. So for me, Dej, I'm passionate about this. I think we get top 4, and that worries me, though. The only thing what people have reminded me in the chat is you've also put Villa top 4. I don't know if you've cursed my club. I actually think you've cursed my club. I'm actually now worried you've cursed
my assessment on Villa is I think Villa's squad, and I just rate your manager more than I rate Eddie Howe. He's just you just showed a bit of mettle, and I was impressed with the win against Arsenal. For me to think that Villa could do it again, it would have been unheard of, because we know that United doesn't multitask. But I think he might just prove everyone wrong. But I think you're the 4th best team in the country if you get it right. The only thing is, like I'm glad that you've agreed with this. Your signings have been pretty dusty. I can't lie.
Well, that's fascinating. That's interesting. The chat is very split on that. I am worried about the Deji curse now. Send it seriously. And I forgot about Kosta Nedeljkovic as well, just to add into that. Another top player I think does come into starting lineup. But listen, big up to... Of course you haven't. But big up to everyone in the chat. Please keep smashing the like button on both our streams. We're loving the support tonight. You guys are on fire. People are asking about the Deji and the Arsenal kit. He will probably bring that up again at the end of the stream. He has already mentioned it. But it is arranged. It is locked down. He is a man of his word. Otherwise, we'd be done and dusted with him. We wouldn't be. But he is a man of his word. So we do appreciate that. And shout out to Ken M, by the way, for the super chat as well. We do appreciate all the support. And you lot are on fire. So, Dej, I dropped my top 4. Let's get into the serious chat now, because you still haven't said a certain club of your own side. And I'm just wondering where the bloody hell are they coming up? So I can't remember if it was you to take it away with 3rd or me. It's me. It's me with 3rd. Well, listen, loving all the predictions. Get who you think is going to finish in 3rd in the chat as well. Look, Paul's already gone Man U 3rd. Wow, that's the highest I've probably ever seen anyone predict Man U this season. PC's got Villa 3rd. I'm going with this, Dej. 3rd place is Arsenal. And I hate to say it, because some people have got Arsenal to win the league. Some people have got Arsenal to get over the line. I am super disappointed in Edu and the Arsenal board for not doing the one thing that Arsenal need, which is they are so close to Manchester City. They are so close to closing that gap. Yet the inactivity in this transfer window for me is baffling my head as a neutral. And I love Arsenal in one way. And also I look at them and they frustrate me. I am someone right now who's looking at Arsenal and going, what the hell are you doing? Pull your finger out your ass and close the gap on Man City and do the job and get past them. And I can only look at the transfer window. Now, do I think that it's all going to be clicking at Arsenal? The one thing I think about Arsenal is that they got not lucky, but they managed to survive the injury pandemic of other clubs. Arsenal were able to lock down a pretty much strong 11 every...
Hardly any injuries, yeah.
Hardly any injuries. Surely you don't have that back-to-back. Surely you can't have a back-to-back season where that happens. But I don't know. But I've got to say this, Dej. I think I would have, if I saw some activity from Arsenal. Let's even say this. If Arsenal went and signed a striker like Dominic Solanke, I'm starting to go, I think this could be the year. I think they're finally taking the transfer market seriously. But they're being left behind again. And I've got to put them third, Dej. I think actually, stupidly, they're going to not be able to recreate what they had and close the gap on Man City. And I'm just sorry about that. And anyone who is an Arsenal fan between us, because I know there'll be a few, that is where I feel with Arsenal. So interesting. They've gone 3rd. Now, this is where it comes interesting now, because we know Deji hasn't mentioned 3 clubs yet. And we're about to hear who his 3rd choice is. So, guys, brace yourselves. Get the popcorn ready. Put the seatbelt on. I hope we hear the right answer. Here we go, Dej.
I would say to you that Arsenal is more Spursy than Spurs. But my 3rd place team is my club, Tottenham Hotspur, and I'll explain why. We've done the business that we needed to do. We needed to bring in a striker. We brought in a striker that is on par with Ollie Watkins. Say what you like. Ollie Watkins had 19 Premier League goals. Solanke had 19 Premier League goals at an inferior club. So let that sink in. And I disagree with you about our midfield. It's just because you don't know the players. But when you will get to know very soon, mate. By the 10th game, you will know about Bergvall.
Tell me them again. Tell me the names again. Tell me again.
Yeah, Archie Gray. You will know about Pape Sarr. You will know about Bentancur. You know what I'm saying? You will know about my club. So I've got Tottenham to finish third. I think Postecoglou, he overachieved last season. We were expecting 8th, 7th. He gave us 5th. I expect him to go 2 places better this season and finish third. We don't need to win a trophy this season. But I expect Tottenham to definitely get 3rd place, which really, really excites me. The thing is, we've got cover on the bench now. We've got Basuma on the bench. We've got Richarlison on the bench that can come on. We've got, Kulusevski on the bench, Brennan Johnson on the bench. We've got players who were starting last season on the bench. And I would even go as far as to say the Spurs squad is better than Arsenal's squad. The only thing is we haven't been playing this system as long as Arsenal players. So I've gone with Spurs third.
It's interesting because I'm with the chat here. I am interested. The fact that Deji has always told me that Arsenal are more Spursy than Spurs. That you're telling me how scary your squad is. Yeah, you've put your rivals above you.
I put my.
I need to hit. I've got to ask you. Right?
I'll be honest. I put Arsenal second simply because they had the best defense last year. They've strengthened that defense. They were scoring goals. They'll still score goals. The only issue with Arsenal is they haven't brought in a striker that could take them to the promised land. But they can still do well. Do you get what I'm saying? Because they've got a good team. Trossard, Havertz is scoring. They can score goals. But have they got enough oomph in the final third? They needed an Ivan Toney or a Solanke type. It didn't need to be fantastic. Just a gunman at the top end to really just do one better than Man City. They haven't done that. They've done no business. They brought in Calamari and they're shaking their bum. They're strengthening an already strong defense. Arsenal do what they did last season. They finish second. That's it.
Can I just get this confirmed, just for me in the chat? Do Spurs have a better squad than Arsenal?
I think we do. And I don't... look, let me be real. Let me qualify this. Arsenal's starting 11 edges Spurs starting 11. I'm going to give Arsenal that. But when you look at Arsenal's bench, they've got Jorginho, Fabio Vieira, or whatever his name is. They've got McQuinnus. They've got Kivior. I mean, these players, they would do well to start for West Ham. And they're one of the dustest teams I've seen in my life. The only decent player they've got on the bench is 2. It's Trossard. You got to clap for Trossard. And Jesus is all right, but Richarlison's better than Jesus. Now, let me tell you my bench. We've got Kulusevski on the bench. We've got Pape Sarr on the bench. We've got Basuma on the bench. We've got Brennan Johnson on the bench. Just those 4 names is better than what Arsenal can bring on from their squad. So I would say, in terms of strength and depth, we probably edge Arsenal overall, but they're starting 11 edges Spurs, definitely.
I wonder if anyone's been convinced by this, but love it. I love the chat. I love the chat's reaction, by the way. We do see all the comments. Big up, by the way. Just shout outs throughout. Keep smashing the like button, guys. Subscribe to both channels, Deji Spurs and Aston Villa from the stands. But yeah, big up to Arsenal Manic. Hot takes in the house as well. Steve, British Mitt, Marco, AB150. We're seeing all the comments. Les and Jamie, Arturello Paul. But I've just got to go to this comment quickly because it has caught my eye. Because he is Lichtenverse. Dej, Lo Celso, would you be upset to lose him to Villa? Where is Lo Celso? What is going on with Lo Celso? Quickly on that one.
I think Lo Celso is a quality player. I think some players are just not cut out for the Premier League. I think his game is more akin or more suited to the Spanish league. I wouldn't be bothered if you guys brought him. In fact, I would be grateful, to be honest. It's one less thing to think about from our perspective. And does Lo Celso do anything against my club if he played for Villa against Spurs? No, we wouldn't give a shit, to be honest. We think he's crap. And so if you want him, have him.
There we go. Deji's gifted us Lo Celso. It's interesting. Massive shout out as well to one of the top mods. I know he supports both our channels, actually. It doesn't go amiss. Big up to Vamos VJ for the super chat and also for gifting a membership in there. And it's congratulations to Bozzy, who's picked up the membership as well. So big up to Vamos VJ. Vamos VJ. Always got to give him a Vamos. But there we go. Right. Love it. Deji has, as I said, this stream is never going to be going quietly. This stream is never going to be drama-free. And we absolutely love it. So big up to you guys. And big up Vamos VJ. But look, my second place, and just remind me, Dej, because I can't remember where you put it, but I've got Liverpool in second place. Now, can you just remind me where you put?
You are bonkers, man, because Liverpool I've got in sixth, and you've put Liverpool second. You've got some suspicious predictions. I can't lie, bro.
Listen, Liverpool, why are they going to be second? Well, Arne Slot, for me, is going to come in with no pressure, no expectation, and have players.
He's under pressure from the off.
He's not under pressure for me. You always get that. You should know that, Dej, with Ange. You get that first season free hit, remember? You get that free hit, you keep telling me. So the pressure's expectations off. But he has kept his guys. He's kept Mo Salah. He's kept Trent. He's kept VVD. Diogo Jota is going to have an unbelievable season. He's in my FPL team. Hint, hint, get on him. But this team for me, Liverpool. And everyone keeps crying about the fact that Liverpool don't have a six. I'm going to tell you right now, Stefan Bajcetic is going to have a breakthrough season. Just remember this stream when we talk about Liverpool. Stefan Bajcetic is going to come in. He's going to have a breakthrough season in that Liverpool team, and he's going to be the stability they need. And I actually think Liverpool, for me, are going to have this breath of fresh air. Klopp was great. Klopp was incredible, but it got stale near the end. Let these Liverpool players have a new lease of life. Yeah, I thought Liverpool got stale near the end. I thought they were very predictable. I think top players such as Mo Salah became a little bit dry, a little bit no ideas. But I actually believe that a bit of freshness, and as I said earlier, sharpen the knife, sharpen the tools. Liverpool will sort of just put this, they'll go about their business quietly under Arne Slot as well. There's going to be more attention on Arsenal and probably other teams like Spurs, Man United. And that's where I think Liverpool will just come through and there'll be no expectation on them. But I don't know if it's just me. I haven't actually gauged the chat yet of what they're saying.
Yeah, I think a hot take, Hilas, I hope I said that right. He said Liverpool still retain their great squad, but Slot won't get more out of them than Klopp. I think I agree with that statement. That never a truer statement said. I don't see, how does Slot get more out of this squad than Klopp when these are not his players? And he's going to change the style of play. They've been used to a style of play for 8 years. And Slot is saying, all right, we're going to have to tweak it a little bit, guys. It's not going to work. It's going to take time to embed in. Bloody hell, Van Dijk is already saying we need signings. He's not even respecting the manager, my bro. There's no way. Liverpool to finish second means they had an unbelievable season. Under this dusty, he's another Eric Ten Hag. They are going to be crap.
Wow. Big shout. So yeah, so Liverpool definitely interesting opinions, and yeah, I think you're right on that. Mo Salah, new vibe Salah is going to be the big one as well. By the way, shout out to Alan Ford, my lord, great support of the channel. Big up to Alan Ford. He is the Lord. He is the Savior. When Alan Ford speaks, we listen, as we always say on Aston Villa from Standing. Enjoy this one tonight, Josh. Here's a fiver to start us off on Saturday. We're at West Ham. I can't believe we're so close to that, but appreciate it. But look. It's torn, and Bozzy saying there's some people. It's actually really torn, isn't it? Liverpool smashed it this season. I think it's really torn, Dej, with Liverpool. I think there are ones that people aren't sure on, which is interesting. So we've both clearly gone Man City is top. Yeah. Is there anyone else in the chat who is not? Everyone who's not got Man City top?
Man City is top for me because Pep has turned our league into a farmers' league. Man City are going to do the unthinkable and win the Premier League 5 years in a row. It's already a disgrace for allowing them to do it 4 times, but they are going to get a 5th. He just knows. And people talk about he's probably not signed enough players. They look like they're in disarray. That's what he does because he's bored. Yeah, he's testing himself. He got rid of Mahrez. He got rid of Gundogan, 2 of their best players, and he still won. So he's saying, let me make it even more worse, and let me see if I can still win. The brother doesn't respect the Prem anymore, and for that reason, I can't wait to see Pep gone. But in the meantime, Man City do what they do best. Forget about top. The race to second is what we're all looking forward to seeing this season.
Wow. We have got a few people who've come in with Arsenal in the chat as top, and I respect that people think it's finally going to be their season. Deji's not having that.
They've got no striker, bro. They've got no striker. They've got no striker. And like you said, Josh, they had a pretty much injury-free season. Get a couple injuries. Imagine if Arsenal had a season like us. Imagine if they had the amount of injuries that Newcastle had, or even Spurs, or Chelsea, or United, or even Villa. What does Arsenal do then? Let me tell you, nothing. In fact, they fall out of the top 4. So all the stars aligned for Arsenal last season, and they still couldn't win.
I love Hot Take. It's right, Deji's point. They even actually try to let Edison go for a bit of banter. They go, let's try and make this even more entertaining and get rid of our best goalkeeper and playing out there. But look, it's interesting what Deji said on that one. But I did see a few of you put Villa. Debbie Hingley said Villa to win the league. I love that. And Will Munder, I love your positivity about the Villa. If that happens, my God, I think Deji would go into hiding. You would never talk to me again, would you, Dej, if Villa won the league? You wouldn't be able to face it. You wouldn't be able to face it.
I would respect Villa because you stopped the kind of Farmers League thing that Man City is doing. But it's a disgrace also for all of the so-called Big Six that we've let Villa come from absolute nowhere. From the days when they won the Coca-Cola Cup. I think that's the last trophy that you guys won, the Coca-Cola Cup, and then we allow you to win the league. It's a disgrace to English football. It's a disgrace to world football, and I will come off stream for sure. 100% I'll come off
stream. There we go. You said it. Clip that up as well. But that's our 7. We're going to quickly do, and to finish off, and I think people quite like this one, which is that actually we're going to be doing who we now think top goal scorer is. And for me, top goal scorer is always an interesting one because it's sometimes a sign of a team's success, but sometimes it can be a rogue enigma. It can be someone who comes out of nowhere, such as probably for a lot of people, Ollie Watkins last year. If you're outside of Aston Villa to see that, they're like, oh, let's take note of Ollie Watkins. So, yeah, I'm going to start us off then, Dej, on our top goal scorer. And my top goal scorer this season, to line up with Liverpool finishing second place, is Darwin. No, it's not. It's Mo Salah. Mo Salah for me is going to be top goal scorer. He's going to have his final season at Liverpool, streamline Salah with his new slick haircut. Yeah. He's going to produce the numbers as he always does most seasons. He's going to go out with a bang at Liverpool as with the golden boot. And I think Mo Salah will get Premier League top goal scorer. I can't see past him. Very easy, of course, to go to Haaland as that one. And some people, a lot of you are going in there. But I'm going to go there with a little bit of Mo Salah as my top goal scorer. Dej, who you've got?
Josh, your predictions tonight is further confirmed that you've been smoking some Budgie Banton. I don't know what you're going there. Let me tell you what's going to happen. So big up to Peter all the way in Melbourne. I think Haaland's going to get it because Man City are going to win the league. Haaland will score. Remember, part of the reason he was up there anyway and he was bloody injured for half the season. I think, but there is going to be a surprise goal scorer. And this is the one that I think you knew was coming. I'm going with Haaland to be top goal scorer, but I am also going with Solanke to score more goals than Ollie Watkins. That one there in the bag.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
Solanke's going to get more goals in his first season than Ollie Watkins this season. That one there, I can. Yeah, you know, the Budgie Banton you've been smoking, mate, I hope it clears up by the weekend, mate, because it's absolutely disgraceful, your performance tonight. But yeah, Haaland to have top goal scorer, but Solanke over Ollie Watkins all day, every day.
I need to hear what the chat think on that. Who scores more goals this
season? Don't be offended by it. I'm just spitting facts.
I'm sorry, but that one's making me ill. That's actually turned my stomach a little bit. I actually might have to go to the toilet. Why have I got stomach cramps? I've just heard that. Oh God, Solanke more goals than I feel for you, Dad. I feel the hope that you are relying on that one guy to propel you to apparently third place is crazy. But yes, just to confirm, Salah is in my FPL team as well. But look. We know that Watkins is going to outscore him. It's not even a debate here, but it's crazy.
I'm going to copy your FPL team. So you've got Jota and you've got Salah, yeah? I want to make sure I get them in as well.
But absolutely love it. Big up to everyone who's commenting. Right. So finally then, crazy predictions, crazy takes that could happen. I've got 2, and I'm going to give you my 2 predictions. Are you ready?
Yep.
Number 1. Everton are forced to go into what I would call a relegation, whether it's a points deduction or an administration issue. I feel like the Premier League have bullied Everton. I actually would probably put a claim in that the Premier League have bullied Everton. It's disgusting. They actually seem to want to have Everton out of this league. And I actually think this year could be the year that Everton get picked on, whether it's a points deduction, whether it's an owner issue or whatever happens. But I actually think that we won't see Everton, have a nice season at all. I feel for them, and I think it's going to be a disaster class for them. And if you had to put one team to go down, and we're not doing going down, but I think something badly is going to happen at Everton this season, and I hate to say it. And number 2, and this is not me bantering, and this is not me getting a rise out of Deji, and I promise you this. This isn't me doing it for the show, and I hand on heart, and I would put money on this as well. This is how confident I am. Ange Postecoglou will not be Tottenham manager come the end of the season.
You're a drunkard. You have been smoking Woody Banton.
He walks.
Woody Banton. He doesn't walk.
He walks.
He doesn't. He's here for the 5-year plan.
He walks.
He's in season 2 of a 5-year plan. How does he walk?
Ange will not be Tottenham manager come the end of the season, Dad. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break it to you, but it's not happening. And
I think that's absolute nonsense, and that is a disgrace. I don't know how you worked that out. There are worse teams in the Prem. I think Erik ten Hag is more likely to lose his job first than Postecoglou.
Wow. I quite like this wild card about Wolves, because no one knows about Wolves. No one knows about Wolves, and they are a weird outfit, Wolves.
I actually think the wild card is Crystal Palace. If Crystal Palace keep Mark Gee and they keep Eze, you could see Crystal Palace maybe breaking into the top 7. I can see Palace finishing above West Ham. That Glasner is a madman. And I think Palace could be the dark horse for this season. And if you're not careful, Josh, with your manager who can't multitask, they could finish above you, mate. So let's just be real. I've given my prediction, but these things could happen also.
I do agree on Palace. I do agree on that. But I'm being straight up about Ange. And I know you've got to go in a minute, Dej, and we're going to wrap up. But Dej, have you got any other wild takes, predictions, thoughts? Any in particular about Arsenal or anything like what anything that's come to your head?
The thing is, I've gone with logic, and I feel like I've been brutally battered by Arsenal fans to go with them being second. But the truth of the matter is, really what I legitimately feel is I can see Arsenal falling fourth, to be honest with you. That is the wild one. I probably won't come out often and say it, but I can, because you got to think, Arsenal finished second twice. It's very hard physically and mentally to finish second. And I just think Arsenal will struggle to get it up. And also, they haven't got a striker. So for me, I've gone with logic to say, you know what, let me go with the masses, peer pressure. And I've given Arsenal second.
Oh, wow.
But really deep down, I can see Arsenal finishing fourth or just out of the Champions League.
Are you finishing above them, Desh? Can we just have that confirmed?
Legitly, wild card, don't be surprised if Spurs does finish above Arsenal. Don't be surprised. And you heard it here first, 15th of August. It was said, although I haven't come out publicly to say it.
That's why we love Deji, because he covers his back. He can throw out a little grenade, he can throw out a fishing line, but he hasn't. But look, we love it, and that is what we love about YouTube. That we can clip little segments and make it seem the real thing. So that's absolutely fantastic. But listen, guys, that was our prediction show. Thank you for everyone who's tuning in. Just to let you know, Deji has got a show at 9 o'clock, so in an hour's time, called Say It With Chest, where we've been nice to each other. I'm actually going to be jumping on that as well. So please, if you are someone who follows Aston Villa from the stands, then come on to Deji's channel tonight at 9 o'clock. Because it's going to get a bit more tasty, isn't it, Dej? I think it's past the watershed, isn't it? Is that what you're sort of telling me, that we can throw out a few more comments to each other and set a bit more chest?
Yeah. It's a no-hose bar, 45 minutes. We might as well do it now. When else can you throw chess before the season starts? Because once the season starts, and Villa start losing, you're not going to be able to come with the same level of energy like you've done tonight. So we might as well do it now then in the season when everything's looking dusty for your club. Do you know what I
mean? But no, we love it. We appreciate it. Everyone in the chat, we've seen you tonight. I've seen all the names. I hope you've enjoyed this show. And look, Deji and I are going to try and run this throughout the whole season, a segment, an hour a week, just chatting, probably come at each other and talking about other clubs and just hoping our predictions come true. So we absolutely love it. You lot have been amazing. Keep smashing the like, subscribe to the channels, and hopefully see you all later at 9 o'clock, which would be amazing. In fact, I'm going to just try and divert everyone now to that stream. Is it all set up, Dej, your stream?
Yeah, it's all set up. Yeah.
Let me go on to Deji Spurs if I can find it. I'm going to try and put the redirect on. Yeah. Why can't I find it? But yeah, I am going to try and redirect. If not, I will share it on my community post, guys, if we want a 9 o'clock entertainment. But we love it. Deji's got a bounce, and we appreciate everyone out here. I will share it on my community post. I can't find it. I've just tried to quickly redirect, but I can't. But I will share it on my community post. So please do keep an eye on that. Or just to subscribe to Deji Spurs. It's very easy to find that, and we will. And we'll be able to do that. Okay. But I'm going to let him go. We're going to love you and leave you. Shout out to everyone. Big up your Premier League predictions. And we'll see you all very soon. The season starts. Can't wait. Ta-da.